Let's jump into my first story today, and that is Aaron Rodgers finally seen in a Jet uniform. Oh, man. They released the picture, and I'm like 6 to midnight real quick. This was so cool to finally see. I've been seeing photoshopped images of Rodgers for like the last, 3-4 months now. So like finally actually seeing him in our uniform. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Very much looking forward to seeing Aaron Rodgers actually throwing the ball around. When we start seeing these little clips in the next few days here, especially Saturday, when we're at training camp finally, the fans' first day seeing him in action, it's going to be a lot of fun. So Rodgers, first and foremost, in Jets uniform, really, really looking good. The next story I want to talk about is one intimidating mother trucker. This guy is a walking Chuck Norris joke. He is none other than Michael Clemens. Is he too hardcore for HBO's Hard Knocks? If you didn't see it, which I'm sure you guys did, I know all you guys saw this, he was walking around with Lucille from Walking Dead. If you don't know what that is, it's the bat with the barbed wire wrapped around it. This guy is absolutely an intimidating SOB. Intimidating. This is like right out of an action movie. This guy's coming in to thump heads. I don't think there's a player that I'm more excited to see on Hard Knocks than Michael Clemens. His ability to just like wow people with his sheer friggin' strength, his monstrous look, his intimidating responses, his like stoic presence that he has when he gives those responses. He stops and like processes. He's running like, I don't even know. You could see the hamster wheel spinning on the head, like inside the head. And he's just like, no. But one word answered. That's what this guy does all the time. I'm so excited. The rest of the league needs more Michael Clemens. And for him to be on Hard Knocks and showing up in this fashion, he's going to jettison himself just into those little bit of, I don't know. He's going to endear himself to fans around the league. Like, people are going to know who Michael Clemens is now because of this entrance and because of Hard Knocks. And Jet fans, we've been praising this guy since last year. I mean, monster on the defensive line. You're talking not staying on the outside, probably kicking inside with all the weight that he gained, and he's just going to throw dudes around next to Quinnen Williams, and I'm so excited for it. I can't wait. I want more Michael Clemens right now. Now, just before I went live, I want to talk about a story that just broke. This is Denzel Mims gets traded to the Detroit Lions. Wild. Back in 2020, when we were looking at all our draft picks, who we could be making, Denzel Mims slides down the draft board. Myself, O'Leary, Green Bean, loving the selection. Absolutely loved the Denzel Mims pick at the time. And I feel bad because over the course of the next few years, dude got food poisoning at our own facility. Thought he was probably going to be the number one receiver. Then we bring in Corey Davis, Keelan Cole, draft Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, all these different players. So Mims just kind of gets kicked to the back. Had to learn every single position. Wasn't really able to do it. Never seemed like this was really a fit from the beginning here with Denzel Mims. Earlier in the day, we'll kind of go through how this sort of happened. Earlier in the day, we heard the Jets were going to release him. Obviously, weren't going to have him up in camp, and they were trying to keep him healthy for whatever trade was possibly coming. The Jets were planning to release him if a trade could not be worked out. So at this point, you're kind of thinking like, all right, well, whatever we can get for him is good and gravy. Connor Hughes winds up breaking the news just like 20 minutes ago. Denzel Mims traded to the Detroit Lions. It's a conditional 6th rounder for the Jets. I'm not sure if that's a 7th rounder in 2025 or it's a 7th rounder that could be a 6th rounder in 2025. So really not a great return for your former 2nd round pick, but the Jets were not going to hold on to him. Denzel Mims is one of those players that his measurables are absolutely awesome, but he just never did anything on the field to justify keeping his roster spot for this year. And that's just because, look, you got Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. You bring in Allen Lazard. You already have, you bring in Mecole Hardman, you have Corey Davis under contract, and you bring in Randall Cobb. That's 5. At best, Denzel Mims was going to be wide receiver 6, and usually wide receiver 6 is held for more of a special teams type wide receiver that could be a gunner, maybe a returner, something along those lines. So Denzel Mims not having a spot on this roster is what kind of freed up these trade talks. And to see the Jets just getting any kind of pick for him when they were planning on releasing him is more than you can really ask for. It's not like he was really going to net you a comp pick at any point anyway. Very disappointing career in New York for Denzel Mims. And I wish him nothing but the best, but man, that's really, I'm sour grapes on this. Green Bean, I heard people sending him messages all friggin' day. They're putting a wellness check out for Green Bean, making sure he's still alive with all the Denzel Mims love that, he was all hyped up on over the course of the last 2-3 years. So Green Bean, I'm sorry. Mimsy, he's out the door as is. Well, not as is. But we got a 6th or 7th round pick. And you love your late round picks, so that's kind of cool, right? You got a 4-year controllable contract. Who knows? Maybe you get like Tom Brady with that pick, right? Who knows? Picks are important, even if they're late, especially for players that you're going to wind up cutting anyway. So not good pick in the end. Wish him nothing but the best. Lions fans, you should be pretty excited because you got a high-octane kind of player that might be able to replace apples to apples, replace Jameson Williams, but you got your wide receiver missing the first 6 games of the season with a suspension. Having Denzel Mims there gives you a high upside guy, used to run a 4.3 40, 6'3", like the guy's a physical specimen. Can he play up to the level that Jet fans were kind of hoping to see him play at? Maybe a new change of scenery is just what the doctor ordered for Mr. Denzel Mims. The next story I want to talk about, and I see you guys chirping about it in the chat. The next story I want to talk about is the throwback jerseys. That's right, the New York Jets. Did we have leaked throwback jerseys today? A lot of people on the Twitterverse, very, very excited about some leaked footage from a Jets intern who did a solid for the Jet fans, but hopefully the dude didn't lose his internship. Let me pull up that video real quick. There was a quick leak that was right in the back. It's CJ Uzoma. Tucked away back there, you can see some of the stripes on the shoulder. You can't quite tell what the helmet's going to look like, but a lot of fans are looking at this and they're saying this is clearly the 80s Jet uniform with those stripes. I don't know if the helmet is legitimately the helmet from that era. I hope it is. I really like the swoosh logo. Clearly, I have it in my logo for the channel, but I hope that's what we get because the Jets already have an alternate helmet. And from my understanding is you can only have 2 helmets. You can have the standard one, the Jet green one with that logo on it. And then you can have the Jets have that black one that they introduced last year. So maybe they don't use the black helmet, but I thought they had certain ones that they designated for this year. Now I'm losing my train of thought, or I'm mixing it up with last year. I hope we get to see this iteration of the helmet. I would actually love to see this helmet, but with like the new sparkly green with the white, like maybe a little white sparkly side with the swoosh and everything. Oh, I'm all about the old throwback uniforms. I think there's I don't know if it's a classicness or just like a nostalgia, whatever it is. I just think they look so crisp, and I love that logo. So I'm super excited on this. You guys can let me know how you're feeling about this down below in the comment section. But yeah, throwback uniforms possibly leaked. I mean, think about how big of a reveal this was possibly going to be for the New York Jets. You're starting to see all these different throwback jerseys. You saw the Seahawks; they look friggin' awesome. The Browns redesigned their logo. I think the Colts have an old throwback they're bringing back. A bunch of teams are doing throwbacks this year. So it makes sense that the Jets were going to do it at some point, but they hadn't announced it. So all the media presence or like marketing power that they were trying to put into this, and some fucking interns just like click, snaps a picture behind the scenes. Oh, that sucks. But very, very cool. I'm excited to see it. I don't care when it happens. I just want to see it happen, and I'm giddy about it. I can absolutely, lap this up. I was looking at the picture like all friggin' day today. Next topic I want to talk about. This coming about the offensive line. We got Mekhi Becton expected to compete at left tackle. This coming from one Rich Samini. He chimes in, says, Becton, who sat out team drills in the offseason as he recovered from knee injury, is ready to practice. He's in excellent shape, about 340 pounds, down 50 pounds, poised to compete at left tackle. I'd be surprised if we see him at right tackle. That has me all sorts of excited. And I'll be honest, when Mekhi Becton this offseason, we were seeing the workout videos and everything like that, and you're seeing like he slimmed down. He looks really good. Mentally, he looks like he's a more of a better headspace at this point. Like, yeah, the Jets declined his 5th-year option back in May, but having him come into camp with his back against the wall, he's going to compete against Dwayne Brown. Most fans were thinking, Becton's right tackle, Brown left tackle. But really think about it. Mekhi Becton never lost his job to Dwayne Brown. Mekhi Becton lost his job to George Fant. The last time Mekhi Becton played, he was a left tackle, starting left tackle for the New York Jets. So Dwayne Brown comes in after Mekhi Becton gets hurt, after things are banged up, and then you start figuring it all out. And now you got Dwayne Brown, who's like 38 years old? Mekhi Becton, can you show us enough juice from your rookie year to supplant Brown as the starting left tackle? Now that, if he's not going to be the right tackle, now you sort of think, well, is Billy Turner going to be over there? Is Max Mitchell going to be over there? Who's going to wind up being right tackle for the New York Jets? And like, I don't know. I still feel in my gut that Dwayne Brown with Becton on the right-hand side is the best use of talent on the offensive line that you can put out there. Becton is, could be a better left tackle, but I don't know if we have a better right tackle on the roster right now. And I think Becton at right is better than the next player at right tackle, where Becton at left tackle is not that much of like a drop off, I think, from, Dwayne Brown or to Dwayne Brown. So I would love to see Mekhi Becton earn that left tackle spot, and I would love to see him lock it down. I want nothing more than for the Jets to pay this dude. I don't think they'll give him a long-term deal if he balls out this season. I would think they're probably aiming for the franchise tag at that point. But I would love to see him really show out, because the franchise tag is not that much more than his 5th-year option would have been. So I would have liked to, or I am looking forward to seeing Mekhi Becton really come out, road grade. I was looking forward to him more so with AVT and Tittman. You kind of have that whole 3-person line on the right-hand side. Now him competing on the left-hand side, you're going to put him next to Laken Tomlinson. I don't care. I just want to see him on the field. I want to see him stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, the dude's a beast. So Mekhi Becton, you got me pulling for you. I'm looking forward to watching you play. The final story on my list right here, then we'll jump into some comment questions. The final story I want to talk about today, this is the PUP list. The New York Jets add 4 players to the PUP list. That's Breece Hall, Randall Cobb, CJ Uzomah, and Jarek Bernard Converse. That was the Jets draft pick this year. Obviously, these players are not allowed to practice and can be activated at any time. Hall move was expected, is what Samini's saying, and that kind of makes sense. A lot of fans were sort of talking about how Breece Hall might start the season on the PUP list anyway, or on IR, so that way they can bring him along slowly. We've heard rumors about Dalvin Cook. Could he be coming into the fold? If they're trying to bring Breece along a little bit slower, this would make a lot of sense for the New York Jets. I think having Cook in there allows you to like not have the wear and tear on Breece's body right off the bat, kind of share that workload across the board here. I don't actually know what's wrong with Randall Cobb, Uzomah, and Converse. I'd have to look into that a little bit further, but being that it's just the PUP list and not like an IR situation, seems to be like it's not like an overly critical injury or anything like that. So 4 players on the PUP list. I'm not super concerned about it at this particular point in time, but something to keep an eye on for sure.